Hi, I'm Ken Oakes with Oakes Daylilies. One of the great things about Daylilies is just the huge array of colors that they're available in. And not just solid colors, but different color patterns. And so in today's video, I'm going to talk about, color patterns, including Eyezones and halos and bands and watermarks. And I'm going to talk about, one of the cool things about, what they can bring to your garden. So that's what we're talking about in this video. So the variety I'm going to start with is Claudine's Charm, which is a good example of a watermark. Now a watermark is a lighter color inside of a darker color. So on Claudine's Charm, you can see that it's got the main color is a dark purple. And then in the center here, you can see this sort of a silvery lavender band around the yellow throat. And this band here is what's called a watermark. So that's a good example of a watermark. All right, so the next variety I'm going to show you is the variety Carnival in Mexico. This is kind of a newer variety to us. It was a stout meadow winner, so we're looking forward to offering this one. But you can see an Eyezone. It's a darker color in the center of a lighter color. So in this one, it's got this light, sort of a creamy, peachy pink as sort of the main color. And then in the center is a really prominent, darker ruby red Eyezone. One of the cool things about Eyezones, and I mentioned why you might want to include some of those in your garden, is I sort of think that these are really eye-catching. The Eyezones eye-catching, but they really are. When you go through the garden, you're going to notice these. They just sort of stand out because of this combination of color. So that's one reason you might want to include some in your garden. All right, so another cool thing about Eyezones is it gives you a good opportunity to match them with other varieties in your garden because you can pull from that Eyezone. So on this Carnival in Mexico, I got a few other varieties here that I thought, you might consider. This is the variety Jungle Beauty, which is a really dark, one of our dark varieties. And so you can see how this dark kind of pulls from that dark there. So those might look cool planted together. So it's Jungle Beauty. And then, you could try a red. I couldn't find a good burgundy red blooming today, but here's a nice red. You could pull from that in the center. And then here's a purple. This is the variety Another Night. So the purple could pull from that as well. So if you plant these next to each other, you've got this color pulled from that. This is another good example of a watermark like I showed on Claudine's Charm a minute ago with the purple and a silvery lavender watermark around there. So that's something you could do with Eyezones. Use them to combine things in your garden. All right, so the next variety I've got here is the variety Daylily, and I think this is a good example of a band, which is a lot like an Eyezone, and except I think of a band as being narrower than an Eyezone, but also it's just on the petals and not on the sepals. Now the petals are the typically larger in the front, 3 in the front, and then the sepals are the ones in the back. So you can see it's on the petals here and then not really on the sepals back behind there. So this is a good example of a band. This is the variety Daylily. All right, and so the last feature I wanted to mention was a halo, and this is the variety Tuscarora tigris. And so a halo is a lot like a band in that it's kind of a thinner color around the throat, but it's fainter. So it's, you can see this little darker red color around there. That would be a halo around the base orange color, and it's got this darker reddish orange halo around the yellow throat. This is the variety Tuscarora tigris. I'd also mention, we're not talking about this in this video, but this is a midrib, this yellow throat, yellow line down the center of the petal there. So Tuscarora tigris. So I hope you've enjoyed learning a little bit about Eyezones and bands and halos and watermarks. If you're interested in adding any of these to your garden, you can visit our website and you can search by Eyezones. It'll pull up the varieties that have Eyezones. If you're interested in learning more about daylily attributes, like edges and different shapes and you name it, all sorts of stuff like that, we shot a video about that. You might want to check that out. And we've been growing daylilies over 40 years, so we like to talk about all things daylily. If you have any questions or comments, you can put them below, or all of our contact information is on our website. You can reach us through that. We'd love to hear from you, and thanks for watching.